What's good, people? It's your boy Clan the Spurs fan, and I wanted to get on here and I wanted to make a video. That's number one. I wanted to make a video, but with the next coming weeks, the next 2 weeks, it's gonna be really tough to continuously make videos, edit them down, because by the time I'm done editing it and saying my thoughts on something or giving a top 5, top 10, or whatever, more than likely more news is gonna come out. So I said, screw it, I'm going live again. And I want to explain something because people are wondering why the Spurs offered, or why they would offer, Bertans for Terry Rozier. And there's reasons behind it, and there's reasons why I believe it makes sense. Where some people say it doesn't make sense, I say it does make sense. Thank you. Okay, Andrew, why go after another guard? Well, let me tell you why. First off, the offer isn't Terry Rozier for Bertans and that's it. They're offering Davis Bertans for not only Terry Rozier, but Yasubele? Is that how you say his name? But he's a French player, 16th overall draft pick in 2016. And he's a power forward. So it's not like the Spurs are straight up saying, we give you this forward and you give us a guard. That's not what's happening. I don't understand why people, and I'm gonna answer that. You said, do you think Boston will accept? I'm gonna answer that, but give me a second. I don't understand why people don't get the fact that it makes sense, because you're not just getting rid of a power forward and just getting a guard. And let's not act as if Terry Rozier is just a guard. Let's not act like, well, he's just another guard on the team. No, guys, if Terry Rozier was implemented on this team, he would be the third, maybe second, but probably third best player on the team. He would fit in so well. He would bring a certain mentality to this team that we need. And the reason why we were winning these games, these previous games, or a month ago or a few weeks ago, when we were winning by 30 points, 20 points, 30 points, 20 points, we weren't doing this just because we were shooting good threes. We weren't doing this just because Davis Bertans was shooting very well. We did that because they had a certain mentality of, we're going to cut you, we're going to slit your throat, and we're going to keep going at you until you just know there's no hope of you coming back. That's what the Spurs had. And I'm pretty sure soon they're going to have it again. And even when you're saying that this doesn't make sense, even think about what happened in recent events. The Spurs have just sat down Davis Bertans the other night, and I believe he's sitting down again tomorrow night. So they're obviously trying to keep an eye on their investment here. But you got to keep in mind that this makes total sense. I'm gonna give you some reasons why this makes sense, and then I'll tell you why it makes sense for Boston Celtics. The reason why I believe that this makes total sense, getting rid of Davis Bertans for Terry Rozier. The reason why it makes sense is, number one, he's also a good three-point shooter. But not only that, he's clutch. And one issue that our San Antonio Spurs have been having is the fact that DeMar DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge don't really shoot threes. LaMarcus Aldridge can shoot threes. DeMar DeRozan, of course, he's going to have to work on it offseason. That's probably his only flaw at this point. And when you have somebody like Terry Rozier, who's clutch and who can shoot, now you open up your game a little bit, because what you don't want is, when these games get within 3 points at the end of the game, you don't want to continuously bank on your role players shooting threes. You don't want to do that. You don't want to continuously have to say, okay, yes, write this up for Bertans. Okay, yes, write this up for Bryn Forbes. Just right. You don't want to have to do that. At some point, it's going to be a situation where you're not going to be open. You're going to need a three, and you're going to need a talent to hit that three. I'm not saying Bertans can't do it, because Bertans is clutch as hell. And me personally, I don't care what the Spurs do at this point. I know that they're going to make a good decision. I'm just trying to inform you why I feel like this makes sense. It's going to come a time where you need a player to shoot a 3 on somebody. Terry Rozier is that guy. He can do it. He can do it. At some point, that's what's going to happen. We can't continuously bank on our role players doing it. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to the team. And more than likely, it's just not going to work out. So that's one reason, his clutchness. Another reason I would say is that the Spurs are going through an identity crisis. And they need a guy like Terry, like Scary Terry, to get that tough mentality back. We have a team full of tough players. We have a team full of misfits. We got a team full of people that should have a chip on their shoulder. DeMar DeRozan, you know why he got a chip on his shoulder. Derek White, people don't even believe in Derek White. People don't even know who Derek White is, and he's showing out. You got, I already said DeMar DeRozan. You got Rudy Gay coming off that injury. He has something to prove. He won a championship. LaMarcus Aldridge, he wants a championship. So now you got a group of guys that are extremely tough. And don't think that we don't have we're still not going to have three-point shooters. We still have a very deep team as far as three-point shooters. And just say Lonnie Walker finally gets implemented, dude can shoot lights out. Lonnie Walker can shoot threes. So that's another perspective. Now, the last reason why I think the San Antonio Spurs, why this makes sense, is because Terry Rozier will push the pace. Right now, we have a team where it seems as if we're trying to push the pace, but we don't necessarily get there. There's too many games where our fast break points are under 8 points, or we have 6 points on fast break. We have not, and that's not a matter of we're not getting the opportunities for fast breaks. It's just the fact that we're not at certain points with certain combinations on the court. We're not athletic enough to get down the court and finish at the rim for fast breaks. We're not fast enough. That's all it is. So I see it in a different light than some people see it, where you're saying, well, we don't need any more guards. It's not that simple. And not only that, right now you have Pau Gasol getting paid $16 million. He don't get to play. And the reason being is because the lineups we have right now and how they're playing just a little better, and his injury early in the season. But the thing is, when you have a guy that's a veteran and you're the San Antonio Spurs, there's only 3 things you can do at this point. You can waive him, which you don't want to do. You can trade him, which we can't trade him. Or you can play him. We can do that third thing. So when it comes to Pau Gasol, that would definitely open up things where Pau Gasol can get his minutes, and maybe we can implement him into the offense a little better, get him being a stretch big like he was, last season. And now we on a roll. We got a solid rotation. But for people to just blatantly say this doesn't make sense, I don't want another guard, I don't want this, I don't want to. There's reasons why it may make sense. And then when you look at the Celtics, if somebody asks, would it make sense for the Celtics? Would the Celtics accept it? We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know who's going to offer what for Terry Rozier, but I will say this. When it comes to the Boston Celtics, I think it's in their best interest to take a deal like this, or just take the deal that the Spurs have already offered. And the reason why I say that is because they have Terry Rozier, who obviously and has expressed to others that he don't want to be on the team. He's already expressed it. Now, this, I'm about to give you a kind of a source. It's not really a source. This isn't a source, so don't take this with a grain of salt. But I will say, somebody messaged me. It was just a fan, but he said that he was just a Spurs fan. He mentioned to me that he knows someone that's friends with Terry Rozier. I looked into it. Yes, him and Terry Rozier are following each other. He tried to give me a few receipts just so I can believe that this is true. He said that the friend talked to Terry Rozier, and Terry Rozier said that he don't want to be with the Celtics. But that wasn't anything new, because we saw it in articles months ago that Terry Rozier didn't really want to be there, especially after this season. So I'm not really worried about that. But it's in the best interest of the Celtics to trade Terry Rozier, and you trade him for a guy who has a very high 3-point percentage, you trade him for 2 second-round draft picks, and you trade him, the cash, that's a good trade to me. That's just a good trade to me, because you're going to end up being, if you're the Boston Celtics, if you don't trade him at this trade deadline, you're going to be in a situation where you're in the offseason, you get nothing for him. At least in this situation, you get something for him, because I think it's pretty obvious that Terry Rozier isn't going to be there next season. So it makes sense for them to do that. Now, the only thing that will mess up this deal or mess up this offer is if the Celtics get a better offer for Terry Rozier. And like I said, there's suckers out there that will give up way more than what we just gave up. But as long as you still have guards out there on the market like Conley, and it's a lot of teams focusing on Conley right now, we might still be in the driver's seat as far as trying to get Terry Rozier. But for people to say that it doesn't make sense, and you just want to make that blatant statement that this doesn't make sense, it makes sense, guys. It makes sense. You just got to think about it logically. Don't think about it where it's, a guard for a big man. That's not necessarily true. You're getting rid of Davis Bertans, and you're getting in exchange a power forward, which Bertans plays, and you're getting Terry Rozier, who's an amazing player. And I'm not necessarily saying this is what I want. I'm just, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what I've heard. And these sources, the reason why I'm getting these sources and other pages, or certain pages, I don't want to say other pages, certain pages are getting these sources, is because we're under Wave TV. And with that, you get a lot of opportunities like this where you can contact or have contacts with certain people that are very close to the NBA, that know people that's close to the NBA. So when I asked him that, he looked into it and he told me exactly what happened when it came to the Spurs. He told me exactly what happened. So that's the offer that's on the table. The Spurs offered it. We can't really get angry at anyone. That's just the reality of what happened. Now, if a trade does go through, you don't know if it'll directly be that trade that they put on the table, because trades can change in an instant. They say one thing and say, okay, add in this, and we add in this, and we're good, or something like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Let me check some of you guys' comments and see what you're saying. Does he start over White, in your opinion, if Spurs get Rozier? No. How I would run, this is just me personally, how I would run it would be Rozier at the shooting guard. And you can't really say with seriousness, he can't go to shooting guard, he's too short. Bryn Forbes is listed at 6'3", but really, come on. Bryn Forbes is probably 6'1" at best, 6'1", probably. So Terry Rozier at shooting guard, and that's how I would run it. I wouldn't necessarily start him in front of Derek White. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily do that. I mean, it could work out, but that's just not something I would do. Davis is such a great player. Can we offer anyone else besides him, Lonnie or DJ? I would be extremely angry if they offered Lonnie Walker on the table. Lonnie Walker should not be on the table whatsoever. His upside is way too high. Way too high. It's probably even higher than Terry Rozier's. So no, I would not be cool with that. DeJounte Murray, probably, only because he's a point guard, and if you get Terry Rozier, who's also young, yeah, it's probably best not to have all those point guards. Terry Morris for Patty and Powell. You don't want that. You think you want that. You don't want that. You want Patty. Trust me, you want Patty. Rozier will want to be a starter. Does Pop move White to the bench? That's why I just said he could still be a starter. I would just think Rozier should be a shooting guard. If we got him, he will be shooting guard. That just makes more sense to me. He even plays more like a shooting guard. He's a good facilitator. Don't get me wrong. He's a good passer, but he plays like a shooting guard. DeMar to the 3. I wonder if he fits there. DeMar is a shooting guard slash small forward. He's bigger than you think he is. He's definitely a shooting guard slash small forward. So yeah, you will run him at the, and he already runs at the 3. DeMar DeRozan already runs at the 3, man. If we get Rozier, what would be the lineup next year with the addition of DeJounte? See, I don't know what's gonna happen with DeJounte. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with DeJounte, because that's gonna be a huge deal what we do with everybody. I love Patty, but I think Bertans have a better upside. I mean, what's a better upside than winning a championship? You know what I mean? Being a big part of a championship, frustrating Dwayne Wade. You know what I mean? Frustrating Dwayne Wade in a game 4 and game 5, hitting huge shots down the stretch. I don't think Bertans' upside is necessarily higher than Patty Mills. I mean, Patty Mills, and keep in mind, Patty Mills is not just the shooting that makes Patty Mills valuable. It is the leadership, it is the ability to be verbal with his other teammates, is the ability to express what type of defense we're running, what plays we're about to run. It's the ability to have a guy like Bryn Forbes and take him under your wing, and Bryn Forbes calls you his mentor. He has that type of ability. Now, Davis Bertans, if you're just going from the eye test and saying this is what I see, I can't argue with what you see on the court, but I will tell you that Patty Mills has way more value than we give him credit for. And another thing with Patty Mills is he's more valuable to the Spurs than anybody. I mean, if it's going to be hard for a team to agree to Patty Mills and his contract, but for the Spurs being a small market team, and for what he's done for the Spurs and how we utilize him and how much energy he brings on the court, he fits in great with the group. He's and not only that, he's very valuable to our team, more than most people, more than you think. True, bro. LOL. My fault. I had a brain fart. Oh wait, what were we talking about? Oh, DeMar at the 3. Yeah. DeMar already plays the 3 because Bryn Forbes plays shooting guard. Derek White plays point guard, so they already put him at the 3 anyway. And he's kind of a small forward anyway. Well, he's a shooting guard, but you can switch him up. But yeah, guys, if that's it, if that's all, I'm just trying to see if I missed any questions. But yeah, that was just my thoughts on it and why I feel like it makes total sense. And don't be so quick to say it doesn't make sense. It makes sense. I mean, it's like, that doesn't make sense. Your sources aren't. That's not necessarily true. It makes sense, y'all. It makes sense. And honestly, at this point, I don't care if it happens or not. I love Davis Bertans. I love the team we have right now. I would like Filoni to play, but for the most part, I mean, I love our team. It would be great though if we did get a guard like Rozier that's also an upcoming star. We would have a little big 3 going on. We would have a pretty good big 3. Heck yeah, no matter what goes, Spurs go. And on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and head off. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the support you guys have given me. Please tell your friends about this page. Please subscribe to it, like it, do all that great stuff. But yeah, I really appreciate it. And as soon as I get, and like I said earlier in the video, the reason why I didn't just make this a normal video and edit it down and everything is because there's so much information that's going to be given to me over the next 2 weeks that I don't want to miss anything. So even today, I mean, I might get a message in the midst of me making a video about Terry Rozier. I mean, I might get a message saying, well, they declined that offer. So I don't want to do that. So I just want to do it like this, have it live for, the next couple weeks, just so I can get the information out there quick. And I don't really have a lot of time to just sit down and edit everything. So, but yeah, I appreciate everything. And I'll give you guys updates. I'll get on here every time I hear something, even if it's like a 30-second clip or video. I'll just let you know what it is. I appreciate your work, bro. Thanks, man. I'm trying to get this big. I want this to get bigger so I can have a a super chat and have the lives going on during games. Like, I want to get this bigger. That's my goal. Because, you know, I got Instagram popping, but there's just not that many Spurs fans out there. So I'm just trying to open it up a little bit. But yeah, I appreciate all the love, and I will get with y'all later. Spurs Nights. Deuces. Wait. I'll share the word, bro. Thanks, man. Thanks. Hey, before I go, I've been thinking. I always say Spurs Nights. I say, what's up, Spurs Nights? Should I say Spurs Nights or should I say Clan Nation or something? Should I say Clan Nation? I've been really thinking about that. I don't know. There's only like 2 people in here, so I don't know if I'm going to get a word for it. I think I'm going to go with Clan Nation. Yeah. I'm going with Clan Nation. All right, Clan Nation. Get with you later. Spurs Nights is tight. Okay, screw it. I don't know. All right, I'll get with y'all later. Deuces.